The Sega Saturn is undoubtedly one of the best systems to own if you're a fan of shooting games. However, it seems that there are still many shooting games that remain unexplored on the system, or at least aren't usually featured in videos, aside from the usual favorites of Dodonpachi, various Konami collections, and of course Radiant Silvergun. One of those is the Darius flavored shooter by Taito, Metal Black. As indicated by the incredibly Englishy intro, you're tasked with flying an experimental fighter to push back alien forces invading from the area of space near the star Nemesis, or as some people know it today, Planet X. After having completely decimated the Earth's environment, these alien invaders have completely polluted the atmosphere with a new type of energy particle called Newalone. Luckily for you, your ship runs completely off Newalone and is actually where Metal Black's unique gameplay comes in. The Newalone particle actually fuels a beam type system which appears later on in Darius. This beam system actually allows you to be able to force back some of the enemy lasers as counterattacks, or even some of the enemy bosses, and turn their beam weaponry back on them. This is also where the game's one caveat is introduced. The bosses can also chow down on the Newalone particles to fuel their own beam weaponry. So this makes boss battles become a race against time to see who can collect the most particles and fire off their ultimate weapon. One of the things that truly sets Metal Black apart from other shooters on the Saturn is its presentation values. While they aren't necessarily that high quality compared to many other shooters on the system, they have a really arcade-like flair to them, especially the bonus stages and the transitions between stages, along with the explosions from the bosses, which strangely are actually shaped like the planet Earth itself. The soundtrack is top-notch as well. It's not really what you'd expect from a shooter on the Saturn, but it does have a unique feel to it, and it inspires feelings of desolation and hope all at the same time. And it makes the boss fights pretty creepy and intense at times as well. Although it's not immediately obvious from the first stage, at the outset of the second stage and throughout the rest of the game, the Darius mechanical style enemies are abundant. Lots of sunfish, nautilus, octopus, seahorse, lobsters. Just any sort of sea life that you usually see in a Darius game, you'll probably find it in Metal Black. One of the few things I miss from normal shooters is a bomb system. Although the beam power is pretty devastating when you use it on the right types of enemies, I found myself trying to save my beam power level for enemy boss duels rather than decimating tons of popcorn enemies on the way, which more often than not I've found can leave me in a pretty tight space when the bullets start flying and the game really cranks its difficulty. Whether or not to use the beam or just try to simply dodge bullets is a battle of attrition throughout the game. Although I've had the game for about a year now, I'm assuming that the prices haven't really skyrocketed since not too many people know about the game. And you should be able to find it on Amazon or eBay for about $40 to $60 give or take, depending on the condition. Is it worth the price? I think so. It has immense replay value through its challenge, and it also features co-op, so if the single player is too challenging for you, you can always get a second co-pilot and go ahead and blast through the aliens in tandem. Also, how many shooters on this system, or in general, do you know reference Planet X or Nemesis? Not too many, so that should be reason to pick it up enough. Conspiracy theories aside, if you're a fan of Darius or old school shooters at all, I definitely recommend picking up Metal Black. It's cheap and should be pretty easy to find online, at least much more than some of the higher tier Saturn games.